Okay, so I apologise if the audio quality in this video is pretty bad. I have recently moved back up to university, again, so I'm now sort of dealing with my audio setup again. I have ordered some noise dampening foam, which should hopefully reduce some of the reverberation in the room, and hopefully reduce some of the ridiculous noise that my computer makes. That being said, let's get into the video. So, the Project Contingency guys posted their September Q&A video a couple of days ago. Now, I would have made a video on this straight away, as I did get a copy of the video early to have a look through, but they put some straw polls in there and I didn't really want to make a video until we'd seen the initial results of them. Getting right into it, the first topic in the video was about announcers and about how they wanted to do multiple announcers with different styles, but they put it to a straw poll for the community to decide. And the results of the straw poll were pretty positive. The initial straw poll asking whether the game should have multiple announcers showed a resounding yes, with a sort of split between people saying whether they wanted them all unlocked by default, or whether they wanted them to be unlocked via progression. Now personally, I wouldn't mind a little bit of both, having maybe a few basic ones unlocked by default so everybody doesn't have to listen to the same announcer all the time, but then maybe making some more interesting ones like some community ones, or maybe specific to Halo ones, unlockable via progression or through challenges. When asked what sort of announcer styles they would like, the community responded mostly with the Jeff Steitzer, the normal Halo announcer. That's sort of obvious, it is a staple of the Halo franchise, it's been there since the first game, and it is the one everybody recognises. The second one coming up was 343 Guilty Spark, which again has a pretty decent voice and is a fan favourite as far as characters go, albeit he can be a bit of a dick sometimes. Followed up by the Covenant Elite, Master Chief, Covenant Prophet, Covenant Grunt, and then Other. Now the Other did say specify with a comment, but only 2 people left comments. But the general consensus was have more military people, either an ODST, Sergeant Johnson, or just a Marine with sort of standard Marine voices. Now while I think these are cool, I think they could go for some crazier ones as well. Perhaps have, say, a Brute one, or hell, literally anything. You could pull the Didact from Halo 4 or something like that, you know, something that could come completely out of left field and really be an interesting addition. Now, of course, these aren't going to affect gameplay at all because they are just essentially audio cosmetics. But, as you guys know, I am an advocate for customization and being able to choose what sort of announcer you like if you don't particularly like the Jeff Steitzer Halo announcer voice is a great option anyway. The next topic they touched on was minimum specs. While they didn't give any definitive minimum specs, as they said in the video, they are continually developing and optimizing the game, I will give you some insight about what I know from Unreal Engine. The lowest graphics APIs that Unreal Engine support are DirectX 10 and OpenGL 2. I would expect them not to support anything below DirectX 11 and OpenGL 3, as those are the 2 main supported ones in Unreal Engine. You lose out on some extra features, you lose out on some draw calls and things like that, which could be useful for them, and you lose out on a few rendering techniques which will overall make the game not look as good as it would on the newer APIs. So for those of you that are rocking really old GPUs, check whether they can support DirectX 11. If they can't, then I would recommend an upgrade before the game comes out, if you are hard set on playing the game. That being said, I did recently have a stint with no GPU as my 780 Ti died on me, which is why there's been sort of an absence in videos. And I did manage to get the game playable on an integrated GPU. This was an Intel HD Graphics 4000, which does support DirectX 11, but I will say now, the performance was not very good. As to be expected with integrated graphics, they are literally trashed here. I had to run the game at about 360p to get 60 FPS on low. Now, of course, the game isn't optimized fully yet, so this may change, but that was my experience playing with an integrated GPU. It is Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine does use a lot of performance. It does take that performance to provide you some of the best visuals possible. So running it on super low-end hardware is not going to happen. While you may get the game running and you may get the game playing, it's not a treat to look at. I'll post a screenshot in the video here of about what it looked like while I was trying to run it at super low resolution on my iGPU, and it's, while playable, you're not going to be able to see people across maps and things like that, and you're going to have a hell of a lot of problems playing competitively. Following this, they talked about recruiting. They are, of course, still recruiting people. They will be looking for people all the time, but, and I will state this now, they are not looking for testers. Anyone who applies looking for testers will have their applications immediately discarded. Their words, not mine, and it sort of makes sense. They're not looking to pull in as many people as they can for testing. They're more hand-picking people they know, or hand-picking people they know have systems that are strange or interesting, to help test features and systems that, you know, may be niche to, say, SLI PCs or potato PCs, that sort of thing. Now, after this, they answered a question which a lot of people have been asking, and that is campaign and AI. While a lot of people do want to see bots or campaign or firefight or something like that in these games, I've been trying to stress in both Installation 01 and Project Contingency videos that AI programming is incredibly difficult. And it's not really within the scope of a multiplayer game, especially a multiplayer fan game. Whilst Unreal Engine does make building AI relatively easy, it's still a gargantuan task for a game that is very multiplayer focused. For example, Timesplitters Rewind, I could see having AI, as that has been a staple of the Timesplitters franchise. But with Halo, you've never really had bots in multiplayer. You've had Firefight, you've had Campaign, and they've had AI, sure. But in the multiplayer aspect of it, which these games are focusing on, it's not really high on their priority lists. Once the game is out, once the game is finished and is content complete, then potentially they may look into it. But for now, just expect a multiplayer experience. They also mentioned there is a special treat coming for their veteran community members soon, and I haven't heard anything about this from the team yet. They've been pretty tight-lipped about it even with me, so I can't really offer you any insight on that. All I can say is join their Discord and get interactive with the community, and then hopefully we'll find out what that special surprise is soon. Thank you very much for watching. I apologise for the delay in these videos. I've had issues with my graphics card, and playing games and rendering videos and things off an iGPU is absolutely awful. To anybody who runs a PC with an iGPU, I don't envy you in the slightest. I had to deal with it for about 5 days. I couldn't get any work done, Unreal Engine ran like crap. It was just an awful experience. So that sort of explains why I haven't made any videos. If you have any comments about the new Project Contingency September update, let me know in the comment section down below. And remember, stay classy.